G'day legends, and UFC 104 Vegas is in the books at the world's most famous warehouse. We're going to break down some of the key moments of the card. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one of the fights because even though I did get out of bed at 6:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning, live streamed, watched the entire thing, I don't watch WMMA. I don't watch WMMA, all right? I'm a man of conviction. I've gone over this, okay? And even though I was sitting at the very screen that the WMMA was on and I had the window open and I could hear it in my earpiece, I wasn't watching it. I was hanging out and just talking to the chat, scrolling some of the MMA news on Twitter. I've made my stance on WMMA exceedingly clear. In fact, it was in this video, okay? Now, I know a good YouTuber would link it, so you could just click on it and go watch it, but I bloody got to get to work, mate, all right? I got to put in a solid shift on this very Monday morning. I'm filming this, and then I gotta go drywalling all day. So I don't have time for all the links and stuff. So if you wanna see my take on WMMA, you can watch it in this video here. Feel free to search it freely. But scrolling through my Twitter feed, I've seen the WMMA highlights and what happened at the Apex, and people are like, you see, look at that, WMMA, it's pretty good, it's not so bad. The fact that one of the talking points of the weekend is the fact that this time WMMA actually wasn't that bad sort of proves the rule, right? Sort of proves the rule, yeah? Like if the whole world is talking about, hey, look, this time it was pretty good, that means mostly it's pretty bad. And it also proves my theory correct. Chuck them on early at the Apex, see if we can find a few gems, create some highlight reels of them, and then like the fat heavyweights, they might be allowed to break free out of the world's most famous warehouse and actually compete in front of fans. The fact that the UFC has done exactly what I have suggested they should do, and people are now impressed by it, actually goes to prove my point and that I'm not wrong at all. I actually feel completely vindicated in that video's take. I think getting highlight reel moments at the start of an Apex card is way better than just trying to force them down our throat as the feature fight of a pay-per-view, like last weekend. Anyway, moving on. I'm also going to be done. I think we all should be. This is a message to the entire MMA community. Can we stop complaining about fight nights at the Apex? Okay, yeah, they're bad on paper, but come on, man. I've said this a couple of times before now. You need to rearrange your mindset here about the Apex, okay? You need to start gaslighting yourself, as I have done, okay? A UFC Apex card, it's not a UFC card. It's not a UFC card. Think about it as a regional UFC card, or like college basketball, yeah? College football. It's the B leagues. It's the VFL, as we call it here in Australia. It's that stepping stone between the Contender Series and the actual UFC. And if you are a hardcore fan, then having this stepping stone here at the world's most famous warehouse is perfect for us. You can watch some old heads still fight for their job. You can watch some young new guns come in and see if they're actually going to be anything. Some of them aren't. It's a perfect little stepping stone, you know? If you are a proper UFC fan, you want MMA fights every single weekend, okay? Of course, they're not fight nights, but that's fine. That's why you need to look at UFC Apex cards. It's not really fight night cards. They're that middle stepping stone. They're fun. They're fun cards in the same way that Cage Warriors or Eternal or LFA or One Championship is just fun. It's not really meaningful. There's no real massive storylines, but you can just chuck it on, have a couple of beers, do a bit of gambling, and have a bloody good time, you know? That's good enough. The weekend without MMA is a boring, boring weekend. Now, to the athletes. Actually, let us get to a real athlete. Andre Lima. Buy tickets to the Andre Lima train. Get on board. We're all on board. You know that standard question you get asked all the time, like, who are some guys that you like coming up? Andre Lima, Jack Jenkins, Cody Haddon. Not just the Australians, but Andre Lima is on the train. As I'm on the Andre Lima train, I'm very, very impressed by everything that I'm seeing from him every single time he steps into the Apex. You know what? You're free from the Apex, Andre. You're free from the Apex. You are now on fight nights. You are free to leave the warehouse and actually join the proper UFC community. Welcome to the UFC, kids. Let's move on to another highlight or a takeaway from me with Carlos Ferreira and Yosis Masua. Yosis Masua? I don't care. Look, no man that lies on his back with his asshole facing the air, also facing a shirtless man, begging him to come down into his guard, should be winning a fight in 2025. Yet, here we are. Cut Mwasa. Cut him. You versus Cunningham. I love Cunningham, but Jesus, dude, you poor man. I'm not even gonna rip on him, make any jokes. Like, goddamn, dude, you trained with Bryce Mitchell, you know? You trained with Bryce Mitchell. Now, this is a great win for you. Great win. Well done. Well done. But Cunningham, dude, it's a road to the UFC guy, you know? You train with Bryce. What are you guys practicing all day to get out wrestled by a road to the UFC guy? Are you practicing primitive survival skills? How to extract water from a radiator after the apocalypse? Sucks, man. It sucks. I hope the UFC don't quite cut Cunningham yet. I want to see him have a few more attempts at the UFC. Obviously, leave him at the Apex, but I'm praying for his job. Well done to you. Well done to you. Great. Great technique. Great wrestling. Great. Really good. Now, moving on to my favorite fight of the night. Waldo Atazacosta versus Ryan Spann. I loved this. This was one of the most entertaining fights I've ever seen in my life. I enjoyed watching this so much, man. Ryan Spann is a couch potato. He's one of us. He's one of us. He's one of the guys that just watches the sport. Doesn't train a day in his life. Just bloats up to heavyweight, bloody wanders in and has a go. The level of IQ, of fight IQ in this fight, I can't describe it. It was truly breathtaking to behold. Trying things that no other man would even dare to try in there. I'm talking about being deep, in the inside, phone booth range, and then let's just throw a spinning wheel kick to see what happens. I'm talking about getting into the clinch and then slam yourself onto the ground as hard as you can. Clearly losing on the feet. Maybe if I start the grappling from the bottom position after a heavy body slam, I'll shock my opponent into wondering what the hell is going on. Ryan Spann is the everyman. Gets a tattoo of Superman on his chest, blows up to heavyweight, and just waddles into the arena and sees what happens. Anytime you hear him whinge about how they don't get paid as much as an NBA or an NFL level athlete, mate, good point, you know, because Ryan Spann is clearly one of the top level athletes in the world. God damn, it was genuinely such a fun to watch. Such a fun to watch. The last time I saw a fun that entertaining, I had to hurl a crack pipe into a crowd of Essendon supporters. That is a very niche reference from the four of you that are down in the southern Australian region, but you guys will enjoy that one. The next highlight would be Damon Blackshear. He was very good. Not on the feet, no, and he's very lucky that Cody Gibson stayed in the guard with him and chose to lose that fight by grappling with him. But it wasn't so much Cody's lack of... It was just... Damon Blackshear is very good at reversing positions, getting on top, throwing that ground and pound down, going for submission. It was really impressive to watch him work his way from behind. I love seeing that in a fighter when they're losing a fight, but they find a way to win. I love that so much. And Blackshear did that. So that was very impressive. Very impressive from Damon Blackshear. Very impressive. Okay, let us get to the main event. Roman Dolidze versus Marvin Vettori. Let's start with the walkout, right? Dolidze, he is trying very hard to aura farm from the Vikings. Now, as much as I don't rate Dolidze, I don't think he's a man of violent power. I mean, he was hitting Marvin Vettori extremely hard, and that's not Roman Dolidze's fault that Vettori didn't go down. Marvin Vettori cannot be knocked out. But I don't know. There's just something about Roman Dolidze's career that I just haven't quite gotten on board with. But the Viking aura merchant, aura farming walkout that he is going for, the gimmick that he is going for, I like it. Honestly, good on him. You need a gimmick. You need something to make yourself sellable to the fans, you know, the Hulk Kutalaba. You need something to sell yourself to the fans. And if this is what Roman's going to go with, I like it. Marvin Vettori. Marvin lost the fight. If you get what I'm saying here. The reason that Marvin didn't win is because he actively lost that fight. He had 3 sequences that rinsed and repeat throughout the entire 25-minute exchange. Stand in front of Roman. Open with just the most elegant move you've ever seen, a massive, big, meaty hook. Lucas Tracy was in Peaches and Creamville watching this. And now that I am inside of Roman, entering with this big, massive, meaty hook, swing like a spaz anywhere on Roman Dolidze's body. Get beaten up by Roman Dolidze in the exchange, pull out of the inside range, and then step to the left. And this is what Marvin Vettori did the entire fight, right? Rinse and repeat. Big meaty hook, now I'm on the inside, car crash, lose the car crash, pull out, step to the left. Center in front of Roman Dolidze, big meaty hook, now I'm on the inside, car crash, lose, pull out, step to the left. Now I'm in front of Roman Dolidze. Big meaty hook. Now I'm on the inside. Cause a car crash. Pull out and step to the left. Just revolutionary striking. Revolutionary. Entire 25 minutes. Was it fun? Fuck yes, it was fun. Is this the highest level ranked middleweights that we have on the planet? You know, I before I did this, I went over to Tapology. There's 341 middleweight fighters from around the world. These guys are in the top 10. It was very fun. It was very, very, very fun to watch. Good on Roman Dolidze for the call out. I don't know what's next for him. He wants Whittaker and he wants Adesanya. They're like totally fine call outs considering where the division is, especially Adesanya. Totally fine call outs. But I want to see Izzy versus Caio Barajo. And we need to see Sean Strickland versus Robert Whittaker. You can't just call Robert Whittaker a can, both coming off a loss. That's the fight to make. Sean Strickland versus Robert Whittaker is the fight to make. So let me know down there in the comments, what would you do with Roman Dolidze? We asked that, we stayed on the live stream for like an hour and a half afterwards. No one really came up with a great answer for what to do with Roman Dolidze next. So let me know down there in the comments. But it was fun. It was a fun card. You know, it was an Apex card for what would I rate it out of 10? And like I said, you can't compare it to a UFC fight night because it's not. Like for a Cage Warriors Eternal card, this was a solid 8 out of 10. Solid 8 out of 10, maybe a 9. You know, the WMMA fights were fun. The Fats were fun. The main event wasn't boring. There was good heavy elbows. Bloody Roman Dolidze threw an axe kick a minute from close range. It was a bloody blast, mate. But you can't compare a UFC Apex card to a Fight Night card. They're not the same thing, so I'm not going to rank them out of 10 as the same thing. You know, if this was the PFL, there'd be a whole new announcement about how we're getting a new product to bring out to service the MMA fans, to service the audience better, you know? But the UFC just does it without announcing it and waits for you to notice. And it's too bad for the UFC and the TKO group and Ari Emanuel that I am a noticer. I have noticed. You have baited and switched us, sir. It says UFC Fight Night, but it isn't really. You've put a UFC logo on B-League MMA, Draft MMA. And quite frankly, I don't hate it. Bravo, sir. Bravo. You've tricked me, and I don't hate it. At least I get MMA every week, and we get to see people like Andre Lima rise up and eventually leave the Apex and join the UFC. It's going to be great. I'm down for it. I'm totally down for it. It was fun. It was fun. But that was it. That's my wrap up. Let me know what you think about it down there in the comments. What is next for Roman Dolidze? What's next for Ryan Spann? Should they get paid more? Let me know about it down there in the comments. If this is your first time here, g'day, my name is Dougie. I make an MMA video every day of the week, Monday through Friday, and I try and go live at least 3 times a week. If you want to know when all of that happens, you can hit that notification bell. Maybe it started working for some people. Some people are getting mixed results with the notification bell. If you're already on board with the channel, leave a like. That helps the channel grow massively, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. And if you are one of the paying members of the channel, you are a bloody legend. Thank you so much. Your names are up on the next slide. And until then, I'll see you all on the next one.